Welcome back to Peru, guys. We moved on from Lima and made our way down along the Pacific coast all the way to the little fishing town of Paracas, which is actually where the desert meets the sea.
Quite literally.
Yes.
So it really is a crazy landscape, but despite it looking very deserted and barren, I mean, that is the case, but there's actually a lot of activities and sights to see here that make it well worth you coming and checking this place out. And over the next few days, we're going to be showing you some of the highlights. So let's go and explore Paracas.
So there are two main reasons why tourists come here to Paracas, and we're going to explore the first one today, which is called Paracas National Reserve. This is actually a huge protected area of desert and marine ecosystems that lies just south of the city.
It's a little bit far away from the city to walk, so there's a bunch of different ways you can get there, from either renting a bike to taking a tour to going with your own private vehicle. We quickly ruled out the bike option because we've heard that the winds here get really fierce and the sun is really strong, so we didn't really want to be battling against those. And of course we don't have our own vehicle, so that kind of left us only with the tour option. Fortunately, one tour of the reserve was actually included in the price of our bus ticket, so that's what we're going to be doing first today. It's a daytime tour. Let's go and check out the Paracas Reserve.
Our first stop on the tour was the epic cathedral viewpoint, where you get some incredible views of the rugged coastline. If you're lucky, you'll also see condors gliding along the cliffs on the air currents. We left the viewpoint and moved on to our next location, incredible Playa Roja, or Red Beach. This beach gets its color from the volcanic minerals in the desert and is one of the most spectacular desert meets ocean location we have ever seen.
This place is just crazy, guys. It's like being on a different planet.
I can't get over how beautiful it is and how barren it is.
There's just nothing out here.
But it just has its own like crazy beauty.
Absolutely unreal landscape. So we've just come back from our daytime tour. It was really good to get a first glimpse at all of the amazing scenery out there in the Paracas National Reserve.
The only downside of the tour is that obviously it was a little bit rushed because we only could spend about 20 minutes at each viewpoint. Whilst we felt like we just got a little glimpse of the National Reserve, we're very excited because we're actually going back this afternoon to do a sunset trek.
It's called the Golden Shadows Trek, presumably because we'll be going in the golden hour and get to hopefully see all the amazing light over the sand and the dunes. We're really looking forward to it, especially because this one is like a guided walk as opposed to stop-offs. So you really get to take your time and experience the coastline and the beauty of the whole place without that feeling of being rushed. But first, we've definitely worked up a bit of an appetite, so time to go and grab some lunch. We've just finished our lunch, and actually we were a little bit surprised by just how expensive Paracas is in general. Compared to Lima, the prices seem to be a lot higher, I think because it's just like a touristy sort of area. Yeah, expect to pay a little bit more than in Lima and some other parts of Peru when you're here in Paracas. We are fueled and ready to go, and we're going to head over to our hike. We hopped back into a minivan with a much smaller group and drove back out into the desert. On the way to the start of our hike, we stopped to check out a viewpoint and watch the clouds roll in before arriving at a beach to begin our hike.
Second time I've done it. Nothing to hold me back, take my time, just enjoy the ride. I know man. passing by. Life is good, best I've ever felt.
The hike was an amazing experience. As the sun began to set and the light turned more and more golden, we made our way along the coastline, climbing higher and higher, which gave us amazing views of the national park.
As I reach out, reach out, reach out, reach out to the sky. I found my way, I found my way.
I just have this song in my head, like, let's go on the high. Or what's, I don't know what.
Let's go. Yeah, I know
No,
what you
I
mean.
don't know what the rhythm. No, let's go for it. I don't know.
Cause I found my way.
After admiring the scenery for a little too long, we started our descent back down to another beach, which was a little bit sketchy.
So elegant. Elegante.
But we made it and settled down to watch the sunset with the rest of the group.
Cause I found my way. I found my way. In bad times, I know I'll be okay. Cause I found my way.
We're just heading back to the van now after our hike, and it has 100% been worth doing. Absolutely recommend to do the reserve this way if you don't have your own vehicle, because it is an amazing experience. Like, compared to the tour we did this morning, it's hands down 100% better. You have a lot more time to take pictures, to take videos, just to enjoy the views, not worrying about getting back on the bus or other people and viewpoints. It's just a much better experience. The only downside is that we didn't manage to get the sunset that we wanted. It was a little bit cloudy. We can't have everything. We had amazing views the whole way.
Yes, and the landscape is really amazing.
Oh,
so
it's
definitely
gorgeous.
worth it, even if you don't get the sunset you want.
So after exploring the amazing Paracas National Reserve that you can see behind us, the other big draw to Paracas, which brings loads of people here, is that it's the launching off point for tours to the Ballestas Islands, which are a series of islands just off the coast that are considered by a lot as the poor man's Galapagos Islands because of the abundance of different life that you can find there, from like penguins to sea lions.
But much cheaper than the Galapagos
Yes.
Islands. The only way you can access the island is via a tour, which lasts about 2 hours. There are normally 2 in the morning at 8 o'clock and at 10 o'clock. Got up very early this morning and we wanted to do the 8 o'clock tour. Unfortunately, knowing our luck, port was closed and they said they will give us an update if we can do it a bit later, but the port was still closed for 10 o'clock, so we don't even know whether we'll be able to do it or not.
No.
We really hope. We still have one more morning to do it, so we're really crossing everything, all of our fingers and toes, to be able to do it next morning, because it's a cool experience.
Thankfully, the next morning, after thinking we weren't going to be able to go at all, we were rushed to the port at the last minute and our tour to the Ballestas Islands began.
We are actually doing it. I don't really know what's happening, but we're going.
Definitely all happening very quickly. And we immediately saw a pod of dolphins right in the harbour. Before heading out to the islands, we stopped along the coastline to see the candelabro, a huge ancient geoglyph carved into the hillside, whose origins still remain a mystery to this day.
A short boat ride later, we arrived to the Ballestas Islands and were immediately blown away by the rugged beauty and the amount of wildlife on display. After viewing some amazing wildlife, we left the Ballestas Islands behind and headed back to the mainland. We just got off the boat. I think everything happens for a reason, because this morning we even managed to see some dolphins.
Yeah,
which was amazing. One penguin.
One sole penguin, but that's better than none.
Exactly. So it's definitely worth doing the tour.
2 days in Paracas is probably, you know, the most amount of time that you would want to spend here. I think if you were just spending one full day here, you'd probably be able to do everything there is to do.
Unless there are cancellations.
Just be aware that they
Yeah.
do cancel the boat trips quite often if the weather is even a little bit off.
But now we're just gonna grab some lunch, check out the hotel, and we'll head to our next destination.
Yeah, and this one we're really excited about, right in the heart of the Peruvian desert, and one we've been really dying to see with our own eyes since we got here. Thanks for watching, and we hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, hit that thumbs up and consider subscribing, and we will see you in our next adventure here in Peru.
Bye.
Bye.